I might have just heard a trapdoor though.
So the hauntings at Bodmin Jail, they come aplenty.
Oh my god! It is intense and likely very dangerous.
Get me out, get me out.
Had shadow figures moving.
People have passed out here, people have been possessed here.
No!
That's creepy as shit.
Oh my god.
Non-human entities sometimes, things that we simply can't pinpoint as being human.
Oh my god!
What the heck?
Oh my god! Oh my god! We're staying here for 3 nights.
Crypt keepers, welcome to Bodmin Jail. I am of course sitting in a jail cell, and guess what? We are spending a whole 72 hours locked up here, one of the most haunted prisons in the United Kingdom. The room may not look like a cell though, it's actually been retrofitted into a very fancy hotel, but we have also rented out parts of this jail completely to ourselves that are very, very haunted.
Guys, we are staying in possibly the fanciest hotel me and Amy have ever stayed at whilst travelling for AmysCrypt. But don't let that fool you though, the part of the prison that we've rented out to do most of our investigating is actually the remnants of prison cells that are hundreds of years old. So many brutal executions and forms of punishment, death, disease, overcrowding. I can't imagine that most of the people that were in a place like this were very nice.
We have already slept here for one night, which I will be sharing with you later in this video. And during that night, we experienced poltergeist activity. So I'm gonna say, I think we're up for a very active investigation.
And I cannot stress this enough. We are staying here for 3 nights, granted in this room. But what's crazy is all of the hotel rooms here have been converted from cells. So all of these hotel rooms could have stories and spirits within.
The dark history here as well is not one to snivel at. We have a lot of death. We have very severe punishments and a lot of executions. There were over 50 people who were hanged here. And of course the ripple effect, the ghost stories and the paranormal activity that is said to happen as a result of this very dark history, it is intense and likely very dangerous. But I thought that we would kick this video off with the museum here at Bodmin Jail, one of the most haunted places, so stay tuned. Bodmin Jail has sat in Cornwall, England for hundreds of years. Today, the site functions partly as a luxury hotel, historic attraction, and still retains some of its original cell blocks, gallows, and courtyard to function as a museum. Originally built in 1779 and undergoing many transformations over the years until its eventual closure in 1927, this historic jail has many stories to tell, from execution, murder, links to the Royal Navy, and likely more from the thousands of people who passed through her doors.
So it's built in 1779. The jail was built by Sir John Call, who was a very gifted engineer, and it was really built as a jail of the future. So we decided to take care of prisoners, thanks to a lot of prison reforms put through by a man by the name of John Howard, who was a philanthropist and was actually a prisoner of war himself at one point. So he realised just how horrible it is to be a prisoner. Hence why we have a hospital wing, which was revolutionary for the time. And if your clothes were falling apart, we got you new clothes. As well as that, if you were sick or needed a bath, we would give you a bath every 3 months, which was very generous for the time. Yeah, although a lot of officials thought that was far too often. But the jail that you see now is really the Victorian jail. It's been expanded greatly, and the Georgian jail has kind of very much crumbled away or been destroyed and moved some of it into the basement of the jail. So what you see now was in operation until about 1927, when the last prisoner left, and then sold on in 1929, so closed properly at that point. So the executions here at the jail were 2 different types. The first one was a short drop. So around 51 people were executed using a short drop, which essentially was strangulation. So a bucket being kicked out from beneath their feet. They would sometimes take up to 50 minutes, nearly a whole hour before they passed away. So it was rather a grisly way to go, but very much a public spectacle. And then William Marwood pioneered the long drop, which was a more humane method of execution, where your neck would break quite quickly because you were weighed, measured, and the rope was also measured accordingly. And that was used 4 times at the jail. for Selina Wadge, William Bartlett, and then finally Valeria Giovanni. In 1909, William Hampton, the last man to be executed here at the jail.
But it is the history of the paranormal which has drawn us to visit what many consider to be the most haunted prison in England. Tales of possession, apparitions, strange sounds, smells, and even physical attacks from the unseen plague the old Bodmin Jail.
So the hauntings at Bodmin Jail, they come aplenty. We have been running these investigations now for about 2.5 months ourselves. In that period, we have had shadow figures moving through the room, rather unusual conversations via Ouija board, sometimes with people that have worked here and died here, prisoners, also non-human entities sometimes, things that we simply can't pinpoint as being human. The weirdest experience that I've had personally here that I can't really pinpoint what happened, that I simply cannot explain, was during a Ouija board session. We had an image of a nurse, a lady looking very sweet, down at the floor, very kind of angelic, move as like a very misty haze, a white haze move across the courtroom and through some cells and out the other side of the wall. That was something that myself, another investigator, and a couple of guests picked up on together. But it wasn't frightening, it was more emotional, more surprising really, rather than frightening. But the jail has had moments where guests have become overwhelmed, felt as though something has attached to them. Things almost like replaying throughout time. For example, on the stairwell behind me, we have the legs scene of a uniformed officer at 5 p.m. nearly every evening that we've had heritage tours. They've heritage guides, our general manager, and guests have said, "That's very strange. Why are their legs standing there? Uniformed legs with keys jangling down by the side of them." Kids will ask at the end of the tour, "Who was that lady in the dress that kept coming up to me?" Also, pregnant women have felt somebody whispering in their ear, the feeling of somebody touching their stomachs, and we associate that with Selina Wadge, who seems to be particularly active in certain parts of the jail, especially in the corridor where she was executed.
Over the course of 3 entire days, we will explore and investigate the historically haunted Bodmin Jail. We will begin with the site's tourist attraction and museum, which features an original cell block dating to Victorian times, as well as a used and still fully functional hanging pit that was discovered in more recent years. So if you're ready to investigate Bodmin Jail with us, hit like, subscribe, and let's jump into things. This place is incredible, and the stories we've just been told about the areas we can access in the museum here, freaking creepy. And one of us came very, very prepared for tonight.
Is this shirt really necessary? Amy.
We want the prisoners to relate to you and come out and talk to you and interact. That's what we want.
Going down.
What the heck?
That's elevator for...
Okay, so this is the entry to the museum. There's stairs here, right? A couple of floors. Does this need to be cooled, or is it one of those ones where you need to like literally press down the whole time? Let's go down.
That is really weird.
I'm gonna chase the elevator. And here it is.
That is so weird.
I heard something behind you then as well. That's really creepy.
That is really weird. It's straight off the bat as well. Why would that come down? And you know what? It's not one of those elevators that would jump up and down, because it would only be for people that like need it like for access.
I also want to say, I know there is one area where they have electrical malfunctions and stuff all the time. We haven't even got to that point yet, so the fact that it just got called and came down here on its own is really weird.
I was holding the camera filming Amy, you were filming me, so it definitely wasn't one of us.
There's no one else
There's no
here.
one else here. That is insane.
So I just rolled GhostTube. We're going to begin, obviously. Well, I guess we've already begun. That was wild.
Magnetic spike.
Yeah, I actually think it might be high in this area, so I'm going to tap that. We command it. Okay, I'm tapping that to calibrate it.
You said the magnetometer was high though, so maybe it was before you calibrated it, so maybe there's like some high energies in here that maybe triggered that.
Maybe we look familiar to you? My name is Amy and this is Jared. If we could have a name, I would appreciate that. I would love to know who you are. I do want to note, guys, as well, this is an attraction. So these are all sort of sets that are set up with sound, music, sound effects, light effects. It's really, really cool. So you come through here, it'll tell the story of Cornwall, where we are, but it's all off right now. So anything that we hear or feel or experience is potentially paranormal because the sound effects are not on. But just because this is all artificial doesn't mean that they don't have activity here, because this is actually built on the foundations of the original Georgian prison, but also the hospital.
But don't worry guys, we're also going to be going to some parts that are still original, particularly the cells, and they're really, really cool.
So just through here, one of our guides told us the creepiest story, and it's to do with being taken over by a spirit, and I guess essentially reenacting something that happened during their lifetime. That's very violent.
I would say the scariest moment for me was during a transfiguration exercise. I had my eyes closed in the cavern number 2. We have here like a little cubby hole in that area. And I was, for the very first time, not myself. I was somebody in the vision that I had, very, very vivid vision of me holding an iron bar, standing over a woman who looked as though she was shocked that I just hit her or something. She realized that the relationship that we had was much more shaky. The foundation of the relationship was kind of upturned by something that I had just done. I then felt the iron bar about to basically enter her head, as though I was about to stave in her face. And that links to a prisoner that I had had no knowledge about, James Holman here at the jail, who did exactly that. He staved in his wife's head and was executed here at the jail. I wasn't myself. I almost wanted to swear at everybody around me. I had feelings of anger, something washed over me, and I had to step away from that space very quickly. But as soon as it happened, a couple of people I work with instantly said, "That's James Holman." And I had no idea about this gentleman. So that was probably the most intense and spine-chilling thing that's happened to me here.
It was in here, wasn't it?
It was in this room, yeah, I think it was there.
Like, this room's called the Caverns because it's made out at the moment to look like a sort of cave system. I think he said he was like here when that happened. No.
That gives me shivers. That story, when he was telling me that, I was like, oh, it's pretty weird, right?
I'm actually hearing a weird tap over here too, in this old pirate shanty sort of thing.
There are skeletons in there.
Just listen. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Get me out, get me out, get me out.
There are skeletons in there.
Right, what's through here?
What's through here? Keep going. Okay. You go first.
Keep going.
Whoa.
What does it say?
Hag.
Hag?
That's probably talking to me. Ain't no other hag here.
Well, I don't know, I could be a hag.
Are they meant to open themselves?
That must be automatic, surely.
I don't know.
That is
man.
really creepy.
Who's the hag? Who are you calling hag? That was freaking scary.
Okay, noted. We may have... Who is that?
Well, my name is Amy and this is Jared here with me. Thank you for talking to us. You've been very talkative. We appreciate that. I know this was an old hospital.
Can I just say, like, while you were like reaching out then, I thought I heard female or child voices coming from like behind that door, like back where we just came from. And again, like all the sound effects are all turned off right now, so definitely isn't part of the show.
There were men, women, children, all kept here. So it's plausible.
It wasn't like distinct words, so I don't actually know what they said. It was like muffled.
Can you follow us? Follow my voice?
Oh.
Okay, I think the doors are
They're
auto.
definitely automated.
Hanged. Obviously very relevant.
Hanged?
55 people were put to their deaths by hanging here. It's like well known to be an area for execution and hanging, so that's really creepy.
You know what's weird? I'm still shocked by the elevator, honestly. Like
I'm shook, man. And through these next doors, they say is one of like the scariest, most active areas.
Hello, automated door. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
So this is what they call the courtroom. Obviously, like, the court plays into a lot of the history for Bodmin Jail. It's a jail, right? So people had to go through the court system.
We also find the courtroom in particular is a very, very heavy area of electrical interference. Even when the attraction's switched off, electricity will pulse through it, almost as though something is trying to, again, demand your attention. Had a lot of people being poked, prodded. They'll have like their coats tugged. They'll have their the rings around their waist tugged, almost the feeling of being kind of slapped on the back of the head. Once that happened to me, but I found out it was actually a bat. So I can't say that's a spirit.
This actually is where they have a lot of the electrical interference that messes with the lighting, and there's no explanation why. They spent a lot of money rigging up this attraction and they don't know why the lights still flicker on and off. And in fact, when we came through here earlier, they were going crazy, weren't they, Jared? Like, they were all flickering on and off and going haywire.
Yeah, when we came down here with our tour guides today, all the lights behind the court, like the court desk there, were all flickering. And I actually feel like I'm getting a little bit of a flicker on these lights too,
I was going to say, I tried to get that in frame because...
Oh, one just went on.
Oh, it just went off.
One just went on.
Thank you. If there's someone here doing that. Oh! Oh my God. Thank you. If there's someone messing with the lights, they can't explain that, and it is not supposed to do that. It's like lightning. Tiffany.
Oh, I've got goosebumps all of a sudden. All the lights keep on.
Shush. I'm hearing water dripping, but I don't know if there could be water droplets somewhere. Those lights flickering are not part of the attraction.
I'm so glad that they're... And the weird thing is, like, if you're here and we could try our best to help you. Like, maybe you can just confirm for us that you're here just by lighting up these lights again. Just to let us know you're here. If you can light them all up for us. If you want to help, we need you to show us that you're here and that you can hear us and that you can understand us. Can you light the lights up if it was you that was playing with the elevator before? I'm getting all goosebumps again. Oh, and it just happened, yeah.
Thank you.
That's so weird. So I just got goosebumps, like, it's almost like I felt it was going to happen, and then it happened. So guys, they spent a lot of money and like apparently like 5 or 6 weeks, like electricians coming out to try and work out why it's doing this, and they could not work it out. So the lights just randomly go off. And at the moment, they've actually shut everything down. Don't do what?
We're not here to hurt you. I am aware of what this area used to be in the old hospital. This is actually, funnily enough, built over the top of the former morgue, possibly why it's one of the more active areas. And I know that they regularly play the Ouija board in here and interact with spirits of all sorts. And they have seen an apparition here as well.
I get really weird vibes in here actually now that we're in here.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting goosebumps and it builds up and then the lights go off and it's just weird.
Okay, if there is a Tiffany here, funny we get a female name when... Hag.
Again.
I was going to say, it's funny we get a female name in here because a woman has been sighted in here.
I also feel like hags are very much a 1700s, 1800s slur word, like, yeah, hag, you know?
There are some ties to witchcraft here as well. So I don't know, is hag and witch, that seems like similar rhetoric to me, but I don't know. Are you talking to me? When you say hag, are you talking to me or is there somebody else here? I heard a tap over here, very slight.
Yeah, I'm hearing movement in
this. And there's lights going off again.
I'm hearing movement in this corner of the room for sure. These are just like sort of cardboard cutouts almost of, whoa, that light just like went
They're
crazy.
all going off here as well. Yeah, it's going wild in here. Okay, Tiffany or anyone else who might be here, the hag, maybe you're talking to me, but would love for you to follow us around tonight and interact. We're here all night. My name is Amy and this is Jared, but you can call me hag, call me whatever you want, just interact. Clean. Oh, we're in a morgue. Clean. That's what they do to the bodies, right? No? That's kind of a weird response to get in the area that was a former morgue where they've cited someone who could be like a nurse or something. We're now descending into the naval wing, which is actually part of the original prison cell block.
Magnetic spike.
Okay, there's something here.
Did you just hear that? What the hell was it?
I don't know. I just moved back to check the magnetometer, which is natural, but I don't know what that noise was. This is the original prison cell block. A lot of weird things have been reported to happen here.
This building here, the Naval Wing, is very much my favourite area for paranormal activity here. Obviously, over the years of this particular building operating, originally as a women's prison, so we did women and children, and then later on as a naval prison, so of course that point would have been prisoners of war and of course court-martialed sailors. So a lot of people have been through these cells over the time, which has led to some rather interesting rooms and locations where you get some rather sort of spicy behaviour. One thing I often do like to reference is that far area down towards the end of the Naval Wing. So obviously a lot of the prisoners who are executed here are buried directly underneath the floor there. So this can lead to a lot of activity and strange feelings down there, let's put it that way.
I just want to call out, there's another one of these elevators here, like access elevators. Yeah, it is true. But this is interesting to me because I just want to notice this hasn't, we've been like setting up down here and this hasn't gone up or down on its own at all. So I just want to call that out.
Okay, calling out. My name is Amy, this is Jared, and we're visiting Bodmin Jail tonight. I have heard that there are a number of spirits here. I would love to interact with any one of you, whether you're an inmate, a former prisoner, still a current prisoner. Maybe you work here or have worked here before. In fact, there's actually a story with this staircase here where people have seen just the legs of a prison officer, and it gives me old Adelaide Jail vibes.
Oh my God, what the f is that? They've got mannequins everywhere. It keeps scaring the shit out of me. This one's one of those death mask ones.
There's a plague doctor. So plague doctors, because they didn't know so much about the Black Plague, they thought it was related to smells. They used to stuff that mask with herbs and things so they couldn't smell the rank smell and get sick. That was their belief.
Ooh, check this one out, Ames. This one you can actually go in and looks like you can actually close the door as well.
You can.
I think this is one that they called the Victorian cell.
This is one of the most haunted cells. They have had people touched in here, sighted shadow figures, and had a few other creepy things happen in here.
Favourite cell, just for the whole paranormal aspect, is probably the Victorian cell over that way. It was actually my first week here at the jail where I witnessed, this was just regular daytime again, there was a young family in there taking photographs, sort of sat on the bed. And as the photograph was taken, I heard the woman, the mother of the group if you like, she was just absolutely in distress. She was panicking, she was going, you're winding me up, what have you done? She was accusing them of changing and editing the photograph that was taken. When I asked to see the photograph, her face had completely morphed in the picture. It almost took on this very old sort of person, almost melty aspect to it, with some very, very small sort of like pinprick black eyes. She was accusing her husband of obviously manipulating the photo, or maybe putting on a filter. There was nothing like that, and that was within a week of working here, so it kind of set the bar for that room for me.
Yeah, we've had quite physical, touchy-feely moments, especially in the Victorian cell, which is actually not that far from me, where a shadow figure has often appeared. People have mentioned that they've been kind of touched on the shoulders, very lightly tapped or slapped around, so the jail can be a little bit touchy-feely at times.
But yeah, this is all original.
Is this bread original?
Maybe. Eat some.
It's very stale.
A lot of these cells have different things depicted in them. I mean, little kids, of course, were kept here.
I still find it super bizarre that they kept kids in jail. I mean, I just don't understand that.
Times were brutal back then.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping that. Thank f you didn't choose this for your Halloween specials, because we actually slept over. Is someone in here sick?
We were just talking about the plague doctor. I mean, people definitely were ill here. Disease would have been a thing that took a lot of people out here, yeah.
Who's sick? Who am I talking with? Oh my God!
Oh my God! Do you want us to go back to this other cell, or you want the doctor? Oh, I've got chills.
That is pretty weird. I mean, I'm sure this wasn't like, this would have been a cell. So this would not have been a doctor's office like they've got it set today. But they would have had doctors here.
What the
I just heard footsteps. Was that on the stairs or down here?
I can't actually tell.
I reckon the mic would have picked that up as well.
Yeah, that was loud. There was 100%.
I don't know what that was. That might have just been one of the infrared cameras. But that other noise was like a sequence of noises that felt like shuffling to me or walking along a hallway or something.
Yeah, there was definite movement. Is that you? Is there someone in here?
Are you a doctor?
Who's making the noise?
To your left.
Okay, it said to your left. It's telling us it's out here. Is this where the noise was, out here on the staircase? Where people have sighted the legs?
31.
I don't know if these cells are numbered.
Yeah, I don't know if they're numbered. We rarely get numbers through GhostTube as well.
Yeah.
31 seems like a weird number to come up. I definitely heard those noises. I thought they came from on the stairs here. I reckon this mic definitely would have picked it up because it was facing in the direction. We were talking about illness, we got the word doctor. I just feel like we're getting, definitely feel like someone's interested and curious in us tonight. Also, where the elevator was that went off, that was actually the old hospital, right? So maybe a doctor has followed us from there.
Okay, this is getting weird. And I also feel like we couldn't tell where the noise came from. The acoustics are a bit strange, so it's like, was it the stairs or was it those cells? And then it kind of was confirming for us. This is very intelligent. Okay, if there's somebody here, we would love to know who you are. And we have a lot of names that we could look up. Is a name something that you can share with us? Like, we just want to know who you are. This beneath my feet, prisoners that passed here. Prisoner. I think I just said there's prisoners beneath my feet here as well. That's, oh my God.
That is so spot on. I know it doesn't look like much, this floor right now, like it looks like that's because obviously they've built over it. But yeah, apparently this part of the prison wasn't always here, this extension here. And this is where they were buried.
This is actually starting to creep me out. Yeah, burials right beneath our feet. This was built on later, so that end of the cell block is older than where I'm standing right now. This was built essentially on top of bodies. I would love to know who you are. If you can give me a name, any inkling, that would be great.
Oh, Amy, someone's written your name here.
Oh my God.
Do you know if this graffiti here is original or?
There's one piece of original graffiti here that I can show you all. That is not.
So this would be like tourists and stuff. It's weird though, because someone's actually written Amy. Not us, by the way. But...
No, I wouldn't do that. It wasn't all that long ago that this place was fully derelict, fully abandoned, and they've done an amazing job at restoring and bringing it up to this level. Do want to make note of this room. Again, a cell, but this talks about a lot of different types of punishment that were used here. We have the crank, we have lashings, we have the tread wheel, we have this weird ball thing that prisoners had to...
I don't want to know.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, but I don't want to know.
So the punishments was almost on the basis of reform here at the jail. A lot of people almost have this image of it being sort of like this horrible, ghastly sort of thing, but it was used for the process of reforming and rebuilding a person's personality and their psyche in a lot of ways. Obviously things like you would have daily tasks that could be classed as punishments, things like, for example, the crank, which was a large box, a wooden box with a large handle on it. You would have to turn 15,000 rotations in one single shift with absolutely no breaks whatsoever. There was no point to it, it is just too scoops going through sand, but it is obviously to break you down a bit, make you feel very, very sort of tired and worn out physically and mentally. There was also the treadmill or treadwheel, which of course, a rather large device. Our particular one housed up to 26 prisoners. There was no purpose to it whatsoever. It wasn't used for like grinding flour or anything like that. It was just purely for the manual labour. On average, a prisoner would have to do an 8-hour shift on there with only one break at about the 4-hour mark. We're talking roughly 15-minute break before back on the treadmill. And they would also have to do that 6 days a week. A little bit of a side note, that's the same amount of steps as climbing up and down Mount Everest. Also, other punishment-wise, you would have things like shot drill, which involved a large pile of cannonballs. You would have to pick up, hold underneath your chin and walk across the courtyard before going back and basically moving each one by one over to the other side of the courtyard. There was also oakum picking apart the old ropes from ship that was used to line ships, for example. That would be a very, very arduous sort of task because obviously with the ship, the rope being lining ships for quite some time, it would be old, dry, of course, and covered in all sorts of horrible bits and pieces. It would lead to very unpleasant blisters on fingers and cuts and all that sort of thing. Obviously, a punishment that would be used if you misbehaved would be, of course, things like flogging, whipping. That would be very, very popular. We had, of course, 2 different whipping implements for the males and for the females. The women, it'd be the whipping post, and for the gentlemen, it'd be the whipping rack. And obviously, your lashes would depend on the severity of your crime.
There is one very spooky cell down here that's so freaking spooky they had to close it off. Liar.
Hey, it's not our stories. We were told this.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think it was this one. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, see how this is walled shut? That's because of the paranormal activity. It was so intense they had to close it up. Speaking of ball stuff.
What?
That sounds weird.
What are you talking about?
Why did there was a light on that just went off down there? Here, I noticed a light turn off down the hallway. So we went to investigate, yet weren't sure why it would do this. But perhaps it was on a timer or sensor, and so we returned to the blocked-in cell.
We have in the naval wing one of the most haunted cells at the jail, which is blocked off. Builders that were renovating in 2019-2020 experienced being grabbed in private regions. I'll say nothing more than that. I'm sure you can work it out. And come flying out and say they won't work there anymore. Females in that area have felt icy fingers grabbing their throat, almost as though they're being choked.
So people have been men get grabbed inappropriately here, and then you've got women getting like strangled, hence the nickname of sausage fingers that they gave the ghost. Maybe I'd be angry if someone called me sausage fingers as well, but that is why this door is sealed. I told them, I'm like, you should open that door. You should let me go in there. I would go in there.
Sausage fingers. And what part of the male body does said sausage fingers man grab? Actually, I'll use my imagination, don't tell me.
Well, he's got sausage fingers. He doesn't necessarily go for the sausage.
So he's an ass man then?
I think it's more the, wait, what would be another, the balls. I don't know, I can't I can't think of another, but the potatoes.
Is that what you were talking about before when you're like speaking of balls and then we got cut off by a noise?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know where you were heading with that. What?
I thought I saw a figure behind you, sorry. This is very distracting to me.
So yeah, what's this guy's story?
These things were like gross punishments where they would leave bodies in there to get picked at and rot in front of people. They would just publicly display them as a very worthy deterrent. I would not want to be caught in one of these things.
Oh yeah, because people actually would come and witness the executions, wouldn't they? It was like going to see the football on the weekend or something. So weird.
Well, one of them had a crowd of 25,000 people. Back then, that's obscene. That is nuts.
That is almost as many people as will have watched this video. Actually, I'd like to get way more than 25,000. If we can get you to like, share, and all that stuff, get us to 100,000, I'll be very happy.
I hope that we get more than 25,000.
Please listen.
Okay, we're listening. My ears are all yours.
It's almost like I got a bit annoyed then because we were not talking about it, we were pissing around.
We're listening. Can you make a noise for us? Can you go like this? We're now going to walk up through an area that has a lot of artifacts and some very creepy paranormal activity. So we're outside now, but this area here is actually of interest because at least 2 people were hanged here. Most of the hangings were publicly done at the front of the prison, but 2 people were hanged here. Guys, we're now in another area. This has a lot of artifacts, so it's actually very cool. But there is also a spirit that is known to hang around here too.
The administration wing, the condemned cell, the paranormal room, the quartermaster's store. We've had regular sightings of a large gentleman, probably about my size, but he's quite a strong guy, so nothing like me in that way. But he was a prisoner that worked up there who had the mental age of about 2 or 3. He was very useful in being strong, but also useful because he wouldn't spread any rumours or news to other inmates. And he's seen just sobbing and crying in that particular spot repeatedly and independently without any guests knowing about it before.
This is set up as the governor's office, and I've got some tea to spill. One of the coolest artifacts I think they have here is this. These are all original keys. You hear footsteps?
No, I didn't hear anything.
I just heard 3 footsteps. I have to review the audio. These keys though, they were actually found in one of the hanging pits. That hanging pit was lost for like hundreds of years and buried over, and they reckon the final governor was so angry that the jail was getting closed because it closed all of a sudden. He freaking hid all the keys in there, sealed it up, so he'd just be a pain in the ass to close down the prison.
Such a dick move.
I love it, I think it's sassy.
Oh, here's some more artifacts in that too.
This is actually the graffiti there, Jared.
Where? On
in
here?
that case, yeah, that large slab.
That's original graffiti?
That is the original prisoner graffiti. That's the only ones they know of. The rest, they can't verify if they're real or not. There's some more tea for you. I gotta say, I reckon this, of like the museum sort of setup, is one of my favorite rooms because it's to do with the black cat of Bodmin Jail.
Shit! I just heard footsteps on like wood. Shit! Shit!
I told you I heard footsteps before. I mean, okay, there is like one prisoner that's known to hang around here. A lot of people have like sighted him independent of one another, so that's pretty weird. And I told you I heard footsteps. I heard like 3. That was a lot more distinct, I think.
I didn't hear it when you heard him, but I definitely heard him then. You not.
What I did want to say though, this here is a depiction of the black cat of Bodmin Moor. To go with that, they do have people sighting these big black cats around the moor. Is this? They actually found this freaking massive feline skull here on the grounds of the prison. This is actually their paranormal sort of area. So they have this little paranormal display here. And then in here, these are replicas of the actual death masks. They're not the death masks, but they're actual replicas of some of the people that were executed here. There's actual marks around their necks from being hanged. And one of the gross things about a lot of the hangings here was they used a short rope, which meant a lot of times your neck did not snap. You were strangled to death when you were hanged. And some of them you can see like the dent where the rope knot went in the side of the neck. Some of them you can see the jaw dislocated. I know that's a bit much, but it's like horrific.
Yeah, death masks are always really creepy, hey? Like just the thought that this was a face of a real person, you know? It's not like some statue someone made, like it literally was their shape of their head.
Is there someone in here? We heard footsteps before. If there's someone here, can you make another noise for us, or can you come up to these lights in my hands? Maybe you can talk.
I feel like so far this walkthrough's been pretty active actually.
So just here is a walk up to one of the old gallows, and perhaps this was some people's last walk. Nice shirt here, Jared. Tucked into your butt.
It's because you bought me a size too big. You got medium. Depends where you buy it from. Sometimes medium fits me, but sometimes I need a small.
Sorry, I'm probably going to keep that shirt and wear it after though. This though is one of the gallows, so 2 people were hanged here out of the 55, and this is actually what was covered over. So they found this in like 2006, I think it was. That's where the keys were too.
The keys were down there. So the rope's not original, guys, that's for display now, but yeah, everything below here, original, as they found it.
And they have also, of course, had activity around here. And I know that they've done some recreations, like reenactments out here. And I've been told that the people who were doing those reenactments were overcome with emotion, like to the point of crying, one of them, but also just like that eerie, empty feeling of like putting someone to death, essentially.
William Hampton, who was the last man executed at the jail, his spirit has been seen in the basement, which he never spent time in the basement to our knowledge while he was alive, but considering that he was dropped into the ground, maybe he is operating now on a different plane. We also have electronic voice phenomena picked up of the bell tolling, as though kind of reminding us that somebody has passed away in that spot, because the bell would toll after an execution to let everyone know that the prisoner has passed. Also the sound of people walking over the wooden trapdoor, the sound of the pin being pulled and the lever being pulled as well, and rope tightening. Seems to be regular activity up in the, especially on anniversaries, up in the hanging pit.
Well, I'll be honest with you, when I first came here and experienced a paranormal night here, this was about 6 years ago, and I walked in as a complete skeptic. There were a couple of events on that night that made me start to question things, and so when I started working here, I came in with a bit more of an open mind, and pretty quickly I started seeing signs of various bits of paranormal activity. Eventually it did kind of go on to more physical aspects, leading to one of the most weird moments where I felt the sensation of literally being hanged. Where literally I was doing one of my tours and I felt almost like a rope feeling round my neck and a rush of air over my body. It only lasted a matter of seconds, but it literally sapped my energy for the entire day. That was up towards the actual hanging pit itself. This was just a regular daytime guided tour, about 2 weeks into my sort of like training as a heritage guide, and just out of nowhere it suddenly hit. I went back home that evening and I literally felt like all the energy had left my body. I was kind of stumbling up my path, feeling very, very worn down. I since found out after that there are a couple of other heritage guides who've experienced similar.
And through here, guys, no AmysCrypt tour would be complete without a John.
The latrine. I'm gonna stand here. I did just hear some clicks out here. It was loud. We are outside at this point though, so it's hard to rule out complete contamination, but that was weird.
All right, stand in the toilet. So there would have been, you can even see like where the original like sitting thing would have been, you know, like the sitting plank. How do you feel, Ames?
Let's get into character.
Oh, Jesus.
We did legs at the gym today. I can't do this for much longer. Okay, I'm done. Oh, that was a quick squat.
All right, let me have a shot. FOMO. People use the word FOMO still? I don't know.
No.
It's actually slippery in here.
Ew. Squat.
Any spirits? You know what's weird? That there's only one. Like, do you reckon this was maybe, if the executions were happening just there, is this maybe the executioner's like office or something?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Maybe where the prisoners were kept before it happened?
Bit graphic. Well, I think that's our walkthrough. I think we've got to start investigating now.
Let's do it.
Having now walked through each area of interest, we decided to set up a home base inside the mock courtroom, which was a former hospital and morgue, before checking on the lift that had earlier moved on its own. But just as we entered this space, Jared began to hear movement.
I just put down like my bag of paranormal gadgets. We set up our tripods over there, about to do something in the courtroom, and I heard a loud knocking over in this vicinity, and the lights just went crazy.
You know what? How? You know what? I want to go to the lift and suss that out, but I'm going to leave a camera just rolling in here in the meantime in case anything happens while we're not in here.
Just point it over this way.
Sound check, okay.
Sound check, okay. Yep. Right.
Just got a nice juicy orb. Oops. So I've left camera rolling in there. I want to check out this lift.
Lift? Elevator?
I'm not sure if it's a lift. I thought it was a lift, but okay, well, it's still down here, so it hasn't automatically gone up, so it mustn't like auto do one or the other.
I'll wait for it.
Oh, Jared, look. It's literally press and hold. You know, I said this before. I used to have one of these at my old work. You know, when you go in a normal elevator and you say, I want to go to level 5, press 5 and it takes you there. The one we had, you have to press and hold. So close the door.
Lift going up.
You have to literally hold down the button.
Let go?
You need to be physically holding down the button. That's creepy as shit. I'm gonna go all the way up and leave it up there though.
See you, Ames.
It's actually kind of scary.
Level 1.
Okay, so we're gonna leave this here now. And the reason I wanna leave it up here is because if, you know, later in the night we come back and it's on the floor, maybe it just always goes back down there, if that makes sense, like it's its default. But that makes me so creeped out that you need to physically push and hold that button down for it to move.
You guys are our witness. We just demonstrated.
After investigating the lift further, we made our way back into the courtroom. This is what our static camera captured during the time we'd left it alone in this space. To me, this female voice is rather strange, as we had received the name Tiffany, and a lady is also reportedly sighted in this space. I believe I know what the voice said, so take a listen to the replay and see if you can make it out before I reveal what I heard myself. We now set up to reach out to the spirits of Bodmin Jail within the mock courtroom, which was formerly a hospital area and morgue. And because we'd earlier heard noises in this space, I decided to wear a pair of noise amplifying Lucid headphones, which is like performing an EVP session with live feedback.
These lights in here have been going on and off. So what I wanted to do was just put a bunch of like paranormal lights out and see if we can get engagement and interaction on them. Did something else just light up then?
I feel like in my peripheral, I saw the trip light just light up.
Which is great. Thank you so much. If you enjoy playing with the lights in this room, I would actually love for you to play with some of our lights tonight. That just shows us that you're here and that you know how to manipulate things. You can walk up to any of the lights, try and touch them. None of them will hurt you. They might make some noises and flash pretty lights. My name is Amy, this is Jared, and we call out to the spirits of Bodmin Jail. I know this used to be a morgue, part of an old hospital. I know there's been a woman sighted here. Perhaps your name is Tiffany. What did you hear earlier when we were about to leave the room? You said you heard something here behind me.
Yeah, like right where you're sitting, right behind you in front of this cage prisoner thing, I heard a noise like wood, like there's wooden chairs in here, there's a wooden floor, like something like, well, maybe more like that, that sort of noise.
If there's somebody in here, can you make a noise for us? Something like this. I feel like the lights have calmed down a lot as well.
Yeah, they're not flickering as much as they were, are they? The occasional flicker, but I mean, they're pretty relatively calm now. So I want to try something. So we've got cat balls and REM pod on one side of the room and cat balls and REM pod on the other side of the room. So I'm going to try a yes/no sort of experiment. So if there's anyone here and you can communicate with us, can you try to light up some of these gadgets? So on my left, we've got a few. If you light any of them up, we'll consider that no. And on the right, if you light any of those up, we'll consider that a yes. Maybe you can try and answer some questions. I want to know about your innocence, whether you're supposed to be here, whether you agree with the reasons why you're here. Oh my God. Okay. Maybe? Is that maybe because it's in the middle?
Maybe the question maybe doesn't apply to them, like maybe they're a staff member. If there's a woman seen walking through here, it was a hospital, maybe they worked here, I'm not sure. We also got the word clean earlier as we were leaving on our walkthrough. Maybe they were staff.
Could be also like that little game I was playing was maybe a bit confusing. Well, look, we appreciate you walking up to me down the middle of the courtroom here. That's, you know what's so weird? I'm standing right at the end of it. It's like they just walked up and through me.
If you are able to talk to me very loud, perhaps I can hear you. These lights are starting up. Is there a camera pointed back there?
This one should see lights on that side, but not on that side.
I'm going to walk up towards these lights. Please don't be scared of me.
Notice how we're not triggering these when we walk near them, guys.
These are EMFs, so we shouldn't be able to trigger them. If you're behind me messing with the electronics here, you say something, I might be able to hear you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
That's the no side?
It's going nuts, actually. I feel like this is correlating with the lights because
The lights are going off, yeah.
as soon as these started, this has started as well, and this is confirmation to me. Thank you. If you could just step away from that green noisy light for a moment.
They all just lit up, Ames. They're all lighting up. Oh my God.
There's someone here with a lot of energy, a lot of strength. Thank you so much for that. Can you show us more blue?
Oh my God. The lights.
That's like a full-on strobe light.
I swear all the lights in this room just went up and again. There's something up about this room.
Thank you so much. Perhaps you can go to the other side of the room as well. I've also just put this other device on. Maybe you were talking to me with this earlier. Maybe you can tell me, give me a word. We never get a REM pod like this.
Go near it. Maybe sit near it, Ames. Sit next to it.
Okay, I'm going to sit next to you. I'm going to put this here and maybe you can talk to me. I thought I just heard something.
If it sounded
You
like
were
a fart,
moving.
it was my boot.
You kind of sounded like a weird fart.
Now it's been quiet as soon as you've sat there.
Do you want me to move away? If you sit on that other chair away from me, maybe you can light that red light up this time. These lights are all going off in here as well still.
Do you want to switch it up and film me for a bit?
What should I do?
Okay, you talk to them now.
now.
Okay, Jared's going to talk to you now.
I explained it before. Can we do
They
a
like
test?
you more than me.
Can we do a test and swap them or something?
Yeah, swap them up.
Because we keep it real here on AmysCrypt, we've just swapped them to see if there's an issue with that REM pod. So I've swapped them. If there's still someone here, can you just take a seat next to me just to let me know that you're still here and you're still willing to talk to us? Was it you that's been playing with the lights? If you come up and sit next to me, it might make this thing trigger, lets me know that you're here, as you've seen. Or maybe you can use this device here to select some words and communicate with us. Come take a seat with me.
These lights are all nuts.
They're going crazy.
I'm just going to show this to you as well. You can move these. light up these nice flashing lights.
Can I just say, since we switched the REM pods, the one that was being really noisy isn't making any noise anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe they like you more.
If you like me better than this man... I was going to say, light that up.
Oh my God, we have swapped these. We have swapped these. That is not the same REM pod that was going off before.
That's pretty amazing.
Thank you. What about this device here? Can you play with this device as well?
So just to reiterate, whatever energy is there is lighting up whatever REM pod. It's not a faulty REM pod. There's something there.
Can you tell me who I'm speaking with using this device here? Are you innocent or guilty? What's your crime? Oh my God.
Okay, it's back. Thank you so much. Can you perhaps knock on something like this? If you do one knock, that's yes. If you do two knocks, that's no. Are you a lady?
I just heard 2 taps.
2.
You
So
heard it on the
no.
head. I heard it with my ears.
So we have a man. Yeah, we have a man. Okay.
I just got goosebumps. All the lights just lit up. I just got goosebumps. I don't even know if the cameras will pick up these lights, but all these lights on the roof just went off.
You can definitely see him on this. Okay, there's a man here. So again, 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no. There's a man here. Is that why you like me better than Jared? I'm getting cold. I want to hear your voice. Does the name Tiffany mean anything to you?
We spent some more time within this space, but nothing further of interest was documented. So we rigged a GhostTube SLS camera in the building where we'd earlier heard distinct footsteps, before moving down into the original naval cell block to reach out, and just as we were setting up, we captured more REM pod activity.
Cool. REM pod activity.
Here we would set up to perform another live EVP session with Jared wearing the Lucid headphones, but also entering the sensory deprived virtual environment that GhostTube Lens provides in order to digitally scry visual white noise, while GhostTube could show imagery formed from AI based on environmental readings. If you'd like to try GhostTube Lens for yourself, check the links below, but now let's jump back into the investigation.
Yeah, roll everything. Thank you. If there's somebody here near Jared, you keep lighting that up. If you go up to this man's head, maybe you can show us an image. If you say something very loud, maybe he'll hear you. Okay, let's go lights out. Oh my God, it's so creepy in here in the dark.
No!
That makes it worse. I'm gonna walk down and just sort of leave you in this area. This is also the area where Jared's sitting, is where there's prisoners buried right beneath our feet. Okay, I'm going to call out to anyone in this cell block. My name is Amy, and that guy over there, his name is Jared. You can leave your cells, and we'd love for you to talk to us. Maybe if you go up or down these stairs, we will see you. We would love that very much.
Oh, I just got a cold waft of air pass by me.
Okay.
Like, is this room sealed? I just had a cold waft just brush past me here.
I'm not even I'm up the other end of you, and I think that cold air is just reaching me now. I just felt cold come past on my legs like this way.
Oh,
Okay, if there's someone near Jared, can you show us an image? Anything you want to show us? Maybe that's what you look like. Maybe it's what this place looks like to you. If you are in here, can you make a noise for us? If you can replicate this noise, that would be very cool. Feel like I just seen something flash. I wasn't looking directly at it though, so maybe it was the tripwire. Can you make a noise? If there's somewhere that you want me to go, maybe I can follow the noise. Earlier we had the word doctor come through. Oh, I think the tripwire just lit up as I mentioned doctor. Does somebody need a doctor here? Can you light this up again if you need some help? Maybe you're sick? I also know these things here. These are original. These were like a pulley system where there was a lever going into a cell and then a flap here. So if a prisoner was in distress, you could pull the lever from within the cell and this flap would open up. But I know paranormally these have moved on their own, and that's all throughout the prison, not just that specific one. Is there a prisoner in distress here? Maybe I can help.
That scared the out of me.
Can you tell me what's behind me? Go show Jared.
Oh, I got an image, James. Finally.
That's funny because the tripwire just went off.
A man with a whole bunch of stuff shoved in his mouth, and he's got a dot on his forehead, kind of like a bindi, but he's got a bit of a deformed face and he's very skinny. And it looks like he's got a whole bunch of stuff shoved in his face, or maybe he's got like really bad teeth or something like in his mouth.
Okay.
It might be, it's almost like he's got too many teeth. It's like, and he's sort of holding his jaw with his hand.
Could he be sick?
He definitely does not look well. He looks sick, yeah.
Well, we got sick and doctor earlier.
There was like a window in the background. It looked like it was barred, but it looked arched. So I don't know if there's any arched windows here, but it looked like an arched window that had bars on it.
Well, I mean, we're in a prison. All the windows got bars. I can try and find a window. Hang on.
You know what's weird? We weren't getting anything. I feel like, okay, so now you've come up to me, maybe you've worked it out. Like, can you come up to me again and try to draw something perhaps more meaningful to let us know that you're here or to show us something?
I feel like the windows in here are not necessarily, tripwire again, not necessarily arched, but the rooms, the cells definitely are.
Oh, I've got another image. Okay, this is actually pretty creepy. A hallway with archways, and it could be like this hallway I'm in, but there's a man in like a military uniform walking down it. It's not a prisoner or a guard. It looks like a military, I mean, it could be a guard actually, back in the day.
This was used by the military though.
Right, so it's either a man in like a military uniform, or it's like one of those old school prison guards in like a uniform. And they're walking, I get the feeling like they're underground.
This is sort of underground.
I don't see cell doors, but it does sort of look like this hallway. Like it looks like it does have arches.
As you're getting all this, we are getting EMF on this staircase, which is where the guard's legs are seen. I don't know if that means anything. That's so weird because that took so long to show us anything, and now it's shown us 2 images with people already.
Each of these images were interesting, both displaying men and both forming arches in the environment, along with long corridors or bars, which is reminiscent of this jail. However, the man appearing in military attire is especially significant, given that we are in an original cell block named the Naval Wing, after it was occupied by the Royal Navy from 1887 through until 1922. So could this image be relevant to this area's past?
If there's a man in here, oh, I got chills. If there's a man in here, can you do something now that just signifies your presence to me? Make a noise, say something. You can touch my hair, you can touch me. Go up to the lights on the stairs, go up to the lights near this man. Will show us another image.
Oh, I just got that like cold breeze on my arm again.
It's moving.
Oh, I've got another one. Oh, this one looks like the cells.
Yeah.
Another underground arched hallway with, it looks like cell doors. You know, this is really weird because this looks very similar to the man with the military man I just got, but it's a different image, but it looks very, very similar.
EMF on the stairs. What else can you tell me though?
It's a long corridor. It seems like we're underground. Arch ceiling though. I know there's not an arch ceiling here, but it's got like an arch ceiling. And then it's got all these like lights on the walls, but they could be like doors. Like there's like these striped strips of light. I don't know. It's gone now, but that was really weird that we got two images back to back that was sort of similar.
Yeah.
One had nobody in it though. That one didn't have any people in it. Can you show us what happened to you here?
Okay, we're getting an EMF. It's down the bottom of the stairs with me. Thank you. Can you come a bit closer to me? Maybe you can touch my hand.
Oh, I just had heart palpitation.
That's not good.
No, it's not. It's weird. I did just say though, can you show me what happened to you here? So I don't know, maybe could that signify like maybe breathing difficulty or hit to the chest or something like that? You know what I mean?
EMF again. I mean, heart issues.
Yeah, maybe. Or I've got heart issues maybe.
Can you show me what Bodmin Jail looks like for you?
I sort of feel like maybe they did. Like, I did just get two images of like that hallway that it did seem like sort of familiar. Can you show us what happened to you here?
I thought I heard growling down here.
A growling?
Yeah, I don't know if it was you because it was as you were talking. I've just walked all the way down, so I'm very close. I'm like right next to Jared. He probably can't perceive where I am. But
Oh, I just felt something around my legs.
It's really cold down here.
Oh, yeah, I've got goosebumps and I just felt something around like my ankles.
This moment was odd. I thought I heard a distinct growl near me, but it occurred just as Jared was talking. Shortly after this, Jared would feel something cool around his ankles, and this would even cause him goosebumps. Interestingly, a growl type sound can be heard on the audio of our cameras, which seems to originate from the area both Jared and I were present within. We wouldn't hear anything else of this nature during the night, but I'm curious what you can make out, so leave us a comment.
Sort of familiar. Sort of familiar. Sort of familiar.
I thought I just heard a growl down here. I'll need to review the audio because it could have been like, it was as Jared was talking, it could have been his own voice. But if there's something down here that growls, can you growl again? Or maybe show me what you look like. How are you feeling now?
I feel still very cold and I still feel like I've got goosebumps all over. I've had this feeling before where I get this goosebumps and something happens. Oh, and as I say that, I get an image. Silhouette of a man. I'm gonna say behind the bars. He could be in front of them, but the bars are horizontal, not vertical like a typical prison. I do see a stone, maybe a stone wall behind him, but I can't tell.
I want to walk out of the cell then.
Were you in the torture cell?
Yeah, the punishment cell.
Right.
All right, thank you for showing that, if that is you.
Oh, got one.
Wow, that was quick.
Oh, this is weird. Man with a moustache, short, white, greyish, brownish hair, sleeping. He's got white sheets on and he's like just sleeping. I see in the background some bars that could be either prison bars or like hospital bed, you know, like around the bed to keep you in, but he's just sleeping. He looks like he's having a good old time.
Thank you so much.
Here we decided to regroup and review the seer images together, but with so many interesting pictures, a growl and plenty of EMF spikes, we felt this was a successful session. But at this point in the night, we decided to split up and investigate alone, with Jared remaining within the naval cell block, this time within the haunted Victorian era cell, while I made my way out to the recently uncovered hanging pit.
What the f*** am I doing in here?
You know.
Why this cell?
So there's a time of night where we split up, and this cell I've chosen specifically because it's very active. It's an original Victorian cell. Shadow figure has been sighted in here, people have been touched, and there's been weird photos captured in here.
That doesn't make me feel any better about it. You know what though, I am used to it though. I'm just gonna push through because I've done this, how many times now? Gone in some abandoned cell or something.
Well, what about me? I gotta walk all the way to the frickin' hanging platform, well, past 2 gallows, and through the creepy, cat room.
At least I get to just sit down the whole time. I'm just gonna lay on the bed. That's what I'm gonna do.
Before I go, I'm gonna take some photos of Jared and see if we can replicate the weird photo that was taken of someone in here.
Oh, with the deformed face?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be cool.
I am just taking these on my iPhone, and so I'm just taking a bunch of photos specifically of Jared.
A guest took a photo in this room, and when they looked at it, their face was all aged and morphed, and they thought someone was playing a prank on them. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if this counts. I got one of you look kind of drunk.
What?
Yeah, another one you look kind of pissed off in, but I mean, pretty standard.
Get the out of my cell.
Alright, I'll see you in a bit.
Alright. Why am I still wearing this shirt as well?
I don't know. Close yourself in. Bye, Jared.
Alright guys, so I'm in the Victorian cell. I don't think we've done a GhostTube box tonight, so... Oh, I'm laying on a bed doing GhostTube. We can do GhostTube and chill. Haven't done that in ages. GhostTube and chill. Alright, let's do it. Let's run Vox. Let's make sure we've got British English selected.
Here we go. Leaving Jared alone. That's me leaving the cell block. And now we're gonna walk outside. So this is my first set of gallows. Just there, people were hanged. There might be, I think it's been raining. I'm not gonna lie, I actually don't like this next bit where we heard the footsteps. Seems more dark in here.
Right, I feel like if I'm a prisoner, I should be more sitting like this. It's not very comfortable, is it? Alright, here I go. Hitting record on a GhostTube box. In the cell where there's been figures seen and stuff. The Victorian cell. So I've heard a lot about this cell. I've heard that there's been a couple of people sighted here that like to play games with people. Can you confirm that for me, or can you tell me about that? I think you just said I can't talk. Well, it sounds like you can. I just heard you. Can you tell me why you can't talk? We. Who's we? We can't talk. Why? Why can't you talk? We just. If you can't talk, maybe you can come up to one of the devices on the shelf here. They light up if you do. It's a way you can communicate with me without actually talking per se.
Hello? If there's someone here, can you make a noise? You know what? This is a wooden floor. This could have been where the footsteps came from. Can you make another noise for me? This room actually creeps me out. It gives me like ancient Ram Inn vibes. Oh, I just heard a weird noise over there. What the heck? Ancient Ram Inn vibes. Ancient Ram Inn vibes. Maybe because there's a freaking ram skull here and this creepy painting. So I definitely heard a noise in this corner. Don't know what it was. There is a really large male prisoner though that hangs out in this area. I don't think he's like sinister or bad though. I don't think. Someone in here?
A male or female? Thought I heard something like ending with the word mate. Australian maybe, like, how you going, mate, or something like that, but a woman's voice.
Westminster.
So not multiple voices. Can you tell me how many people are in here with me at the moment? Just one of you, please.
This is L.
This is L?
I feel like I just seen, honestly, like something flash. It would have been in here. Like something flipped past here. This is the ghost room though. I mean, look at this image. I don't know what. Is this from here? Like what? Total amount of possessions to 2016, 17 and counting. No one told me this. 12 interactions with children have been recorded. Between 2015 and 2020, we had over 30 sightings. Both Giovanni Valerie and Francesco La Roche have been seen up to 23 times near the condemned cell. A chief warder has been seen 11 times in the last 2 years. Smells of bodily functions in the quartermaster store 2 or 3 times a month. 12 times a priest is seen walking in this corridor. What the heck? 42 visitors have passed out in this jail as they feel spirits. So there's a priest in this corridor. People have passed out here. People have been possessed here. People have sighted ghosts here. And this is just... they're documenting this stuff. Oh my god, poltergeists have weekly occurrences in this area. Possession in the naval wing where I just left Jared. Jared really does go all out for AmysCrypt. If you appreciate Jared, make sure you hit like on this video.
Am I speaking with a lady?
Talking about that.
Am I talking to a lady or a man?
Woke up.
Stay soft.
I heard stay. I'm not going anywhere. Do you want some stale bread? Yeah. Do you want some bread? Are you hungry? Oh, I just heard this is L again. Am I speaking with a young girl maybe? How old are you?
This is a mock-up of what a condemned cell actually would have looked like. It is not a real condemned cell. I am going to keep walking though. So a priest has been seen here. I guess maybe because there's hangings, you know, the hanging areas were around here. That makes sense for a priest to be around here. Okay, I'm now officially outside, you guys. Like, this is the building.
Just put some white noise on, guys.
What's that?
What is that? I've just put on some white noise because apparently this can help you communicate or can increase perception a bit more so we can communicate better. Who is it that we're speaking with?
There's been a... Yeah, to do the... 12.
Ooh, 12. It was like 12. I just heard 12. That's a lot of people for one cell. I'm not sure how many people were kept in a cell at a time, but I guess, you know, it could be 12 spirits here still. It doesn't necessarily mean that there was 12 people kept in here at the same time.
What the heck? So I like walk past. I swear I didn't touch that. This is the gallows though. So it is an original hanging pit. Pit down here, people were executed here. You know what I mean? Did want to come out here and do something though tonight. I feel like I just want to run box and see if we get anything through.
How do you feel about me being in here?
Parcel. In the same parcel.
What's that?
What is that? Well, these devices here light up when you touch them, so they let me know that you're here. And this device here just generates sounds when you go near it and you play around with it. So you might be able to use that somehow. Can you tell me why you're in here?
Okay, my name is Amy, and I've come a very long way to talk to anyone still at Bodmin Jail. I know this might not necessarily be a nice place, the hanging pit, but if there is someone here who's open to communicate, I would love to talk to you. Can you step forward and give me a sign you want to talk to?
I'm traveling.
Okay, I have been traveling. I've traveled as I just said, I literally just said. And I've come a very long way to talk to anyone still at Bodmin Jail. I've traveled a very long way, all the way from Australia. You might know as Van Diemen's Land. I know a lot of convicts were sent down there as well. And I would just like to talk to anyone here.
Like that?
After that.
I want to talk to the women that came through before. Can you tell me something about this cell that I'm in right now? I feel like I heard the number 14 then. Some people have been taking photographs in here and they've seen something strange in the photos. What have they been seeing? Guys, I'm just going to say, I feel like I smell vomit. Oh, and I've still got goosebumps all of a sudden. Is someone sick?
Can you tell me about this hanging pit? I see someone's left some flowers here for you. How do you feel about that? Just want to say as well, guys, this is now the only working Victorian hanging pit in the UK. So it is fully functional. Well, thank you for talking to me. Sorry I missed that.
Who's sick? If someone is in here with me, are you able to make a loud noise in the room with me? Are you able to move something? I've heard that you're able to.
On the.
Against that.
I feel like there were a few noises coming through them, but I feel like I heard the word cancer come through. I said, is someone sick? I think was the last question I asked. And a bunch of stuff came through, but I thought I heard someone say cancer then.
Do you think this punishment fit your crime? Who am I talking with right now? I'm just going to cut this because I heard a loud noise.
This noise was very loud and startled me, coming right after a scream that I did not hear in the moment. I immediately checked my surroundings for anything that could have caused this noise, yet I was alone in this courtyard, which was blocked off to the public during our investigation. However, I am in a semi-outdoor area at this time, so I cannot completely rule out contamination. Yet I still have no clue what the origin of these noises was, yet I did speculate it could have been something quite dark.
I want to describe it as a door, but now I'm thinking about it. There is a door, a trap door. That is terrifying and disturbing, making me feel a bit sick as well. I don't know what could have made that noise. I think you would have heard it as well. Could it be residual?
Can you take the bread out of my hands? Reward. Can you take the bread out of my hands as your reward for talking to me? Go on and take it. Go on and take the bread from my hand.
And there's no one out here. I'm gonna be honest, guys, that really freaked me out. I know that they've had residual sort of noises like bells tolling, rope swinging, and things near the gallows right there. I might have just heard a trapdoor go. I don't know how to feel about that. Okay, I'm gonna walk back towards Jared now.
Can you kick the bucket? Whoa. Did the light just flicker in here? I don't know if that camera picture, I swear I just saw a big flicker. Oh my god! I seen a light flicker near this camera. I don't know if it was the infrared, but it seemed bright to me. Oh my god. This has gone quiet now. Okay, someone's here. You can see how the light works now. Can you light up the other ones for me if you're here? So this ball here that you just lit up, that's going to mean yes. Great. You understand what I'm saying? The other one's going to mean no. The one by the cup of tea, which I'll light up just now so you can see it. There you go. Okay, so they're both lighting up now, so you know how they work. These were not lighting up at all before. Okay, can you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Yes. Okay, great. Maybe it's preferring that than this. Yes. Okay. Are you a man? Yes. Were you innocent?
During this time, Jared's infrared night vision booster light died. He did not notice this, as you must remember he is sitting in the dark and this light is not visible to his eyes. Immediately after this, one of our cat balls lights up, almost as if the energy from the light was transferred. After this, we moved over to the area where we'd earlier heard footsteps to perform an Estes, yet not a single response or moment of interest was documented.
Welcome back to another night of investigating Bodmin Jail. I hope that you enjoyed the first part of this video. That showed us investigating the museum here, and I actually think that we had a really cool night. The things that we experienced and captured were amazing. So if you've enjoyed the video so far, hit like, leave a comment, all that good stuff, but we are not done yet. Tonight we're going to be investigating our actual hotel room, which is within the 3 original prison cells. Of course, it looks a bit nicer and fancier than the prison would have looked back in the day, but as I said, we've already had activity in this room. So what you've already watched in this video was actually our second night here. We actually got here early and spent one extra night in this room before we investigated the museum. And we weren't gonna do anything, but when we arrived, we did have a paranormal experience, which was, honestly, it was pretty trippy and kind of crazy. So because of that, we decided to leave a night vision static camera rolling overnight to see if we could capture anything else. So I thought to continue this video, we would review that footage together now before we actually start investigating again tonight. So I thought together we'll review the footage and we'll see what we picked up. That was night one for us, and I definitely recall hearing some of those noises. I know at least one of them woke both of us up, right?
Yeah, I was definitely hearing noises while I was asleep as well.
Because this area is decked out as a public hotel, I can't tell you for sure that's 100% paranormal. To me, some of the noises really felt like they were within the room with us. These noises, I would say, were happening at 2 or 3 in the morning, right?
Yeah, and I also feel like unlike a lot of the buildings we stay in, like these ones are like stone walls because they're all prison cells. I feel like it's less likely to be like wood expanding like in typical buildings that we investigate.
I gotta say as well, I haven't heard much noise from any other guests. I know there are other guests staying here. I haven't seen any sort of around our room, but for them to be making that much noise, it's, yeah, pretty loud. We are also staying right on the very end, so there's no one staying this side of us. We actually bought a bigger hotel room, a family room, so that we have an extra cell to investigate. So I feel like there's a pretty good buffer. Plus, there's this weird feeling about this jail. When people come in, and I've noticed this in the lobby, it almost feels similar to a church where you don't want to raise your voice or be loud in the lobby or walking around. Like, I've noticed people just making their way through, you know, they lower their voice, they whisper. So it's kind of weird to me that someone would be banging and clanging around at that hour of the morning. The experience that we had though, that caused us to roll that night vision camera, happened earlier in the day. So we had just got into our hotel room. We came in and Jared and I were on this bed behind me, and we began hearing noises. It sounded a lot like knocking on wood, and I heard this multiple times. The only wood really in this room, and where the noises seem to originate from, is this big closet thing built into the room behind me. So we were just hearing knocks. And this happened while we were just chilling out watching TV on the bed.
Watching TV? Yes, watching TV. Hi Ron, I'm here too.
Perfectly innocent, we were just watching TV. So as we were doing this watching of the TV, we were hearing this knocking. And then when we were done watching the TV, we were on the bed and I you not, something in this room moved. So what did you hear?
I heard something move in my suitcase. It sounded like it was in my suitcase, like someone rustling around. And like you could say maybe it was like gravity, but the thing that was weird is that we'd been in the room for hours now. So if there was anything that, had moved while I was opening my suitcase, you'd think it would have settled by that point.
I know exactly what moved because I saw it with my own eyes. It wasn't something necessarily in Jared's suitcase, but we do have a number of backpacks that we have all of our filming and our paranormal gear in, and these were set up next to Jared's suitcase. Literally what moved was an entire arm of the bag. It could have been gravity shifting it, but this thing moved up and over. It was a whole arm loop, like is that what it sounded like to you? Like
yeah, it sounded like generic, like movement of bags and stuff. Like stuff that you would expect in a suitcase or in a backpack.
And I saw it. I was on the bed and the reason I saw it was because it moved up and over. So from that angle, I could see it down here. It was a big movement. It wasn't just a small it's been sitting here for so long, a bit of gravity. Now, I don't know if this watching of the TV stirred up the spirits or whatever. I don't know. By
the way, if you want to watch TV with us, we're going to do a Patreon YouTube members only video where we watch some TV in our hotel room whilst running GhostTube. If you want to see that, go check out our Patreon. We'll be watching TV.
But what we're going to do tonight, we are going to show you around the room. We'll do a mini GhostTube walkthrough. It's quite a small space. It is 3 cells, but it's still quite small. We'll do some very chill investigating. And of course, we'll rig some cameras while we sleep tonight in case there is activity overnight. But I wanted to do this video a little bit differently. I wanted the start of it to be like a normal AmysCrypt episode. And then I wanted to go a little bit more in depth and make a longer video for you all to see if that is something that you're interested in. But I also wanted to keep it very chill, very casual, hence, I got tracky dacks on and my little ghost socks.
GhostTube and chill, we like to call it. GhostTube and chill.
So if you dig this kind of video, let us know in a comment, but definitely be liking, subscribing, having notification bell on because we have so many videos coming. And I also, I feel so lucky and privileged to be here at Bodmin Jail. It's a place I have always wanted to investigate since the days of seeing it back on Most Haunted. Definitely a controversial episode of Most Haunted, but Most Haunted was probably my first ghost show to expose me to paranormal investigating at all back in the day when I was younger. Yeah, it highlighted a lot of locations to me that have always fascinated me and I've always wanted to visit them, and Bodmin Jail has always been one of them.
Controversy aside, I also think in that episode this place was derelict, right? It wasn't like it is today, yeah?
Yes, it's a very good example of what the hotel looked like, but honestly what the jail looked like not all that long ago. I would say it was a ruin. It was a ruin, and now it's this really fancy hotel.
I don't know if it's 5 stars, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's very nice.
Should we get into investigating though, Jared? Let's turn the lights off. And just like that, we're lights off. Well, except for this light. Everything else is lights off though. So very spooky, setting the mood for a little GhostTube walkthrough. And when I say little, it's gonna be little.
It's definitely, with the lights off, it's a lot less romantic looking. I like the mood lighting, you know what I mean?
Romantic, stop.
Good for watching TV.
So I just want to introduce myself again, because I have done that multiple times since staying here. My name is Amy and this is Jared. If there is anyone here who can hear my voice, we'd love for you to talk to us and engage with us tonight. And I'm rolling a device, maybe you can use it to talk to us tonight. So this would be the middle cell, right? There is 3 here. This is the entry door. The doors are so cool as well, full prison doors. If you see a bunch of crap laying around on the floor, this is raw, this is real. We have to travel with a lot of stuff these days to film these videos.
Tried to cut it out of the angle.
Don't show them! Yeah, we've got so much paranormal and filming gear.
If you keep it above the waist, you can't see it. There you go.
We've got stuff on charge down there. It's a whole mess, right? So this is, I guess, the living area of this room. It would have been a whole cell though. And you can see where the cells are broken here. right? And this arched roof, which is kind of interesting because we did get images through SEER last night that were, they kept showing that sort of arched roof, which is prevalent in pretty much every cell here. Now, this is our bedroom cell. Can pretty much just fit a bed. Over there is our cupboard, which is wood. And I swear, like, I was hearing knocks on that thing. Like, that's where the sound was coming from. And it definitely sounded like knocking on wood. That's the only wood in here. Like, it's all just stone, like actual prison stone in here, right?
So it's just like your regular cupboard with, tea, coffee, safe, that sort of thing, hairdryer. There's another side over here with like bathrobes and shit. There you go.
So the bag that moved was actually pretty much where Jared is standing. So I just want to kind of show, it was down here, right?
Yeah.
It was about there.
Yeah.
Jared's suitcase is here. I was sitting on this side of the bed, so it was in my line of sight, and I did see the arm of the bag flick around. And it was one of these bags down here, as a matter of fact.
I'm just going to zoom in so I can see one of our camera bags.
Yeah, like just an arm, right? And it was like, so if there is someone here and you did that the other night, if you could do it again, that'd be great. Do it so we can see it on one of these cameras.
Or we've deliberately cropped them out so nobody sees them.
Oh, yeah, true.
Whatever. We'll hear it. We've got like 3, 4, 5 audios running.
Yeah, and our body mics. Anyway, we do have a little write-up here about some history of this cell. Paranormally though, there is activity here, and I was talking to some of the staff. They have experienced hearing things in these cells. People have sighted things, had things move as well. So I do find that pretty curious that we had something move in here. I don't know of specific ghost stories in our room, and I'm not going to name drop our number either, but if you've ever stayed at Bodmin Jail and had an experience, let me know where and what happened. Now, this is Henry Bailey. 9th of January 1868, was taken from this cell to receive 12 lashes, having been charged with breaking into a local brewery, stealing beer and causing damage. He went on to spend a further month with hard labour in here on a separate charge and conviction of stealing a silver Albert chain. He was also privately whipped the day prior to his release by P.C. Prater in the presence of the governor, mayor, the magistrate and the police superintendent. So lashings, punishment here was quite commonplace. Yeah, that would have been absolutely horrific.
This bloke didn't die here though, did he?
Doesn't say that he died here, but it's just pretty much, I think every cell has a little snippet of history, like on this day this happened from this cell, or this happened here. There are some murderers cells I've heard, and a condemned cell. I'm not quite sure which ones they are, but it is kind of interesting that they keep this here. And I think if you're a guest staying here, like a fun fact, I guess, I don't know, I mean, this ain't fun, but this is the reality of what this place was. They've preserved the history with that.
You know what though? The hotel's a prison. Anyone staying here would know that. Like, if they can't appreciate that, then they probably shouldn't be staying here.
True. Our last cell is our favourite on AmysCrypt. The bathroom.
It is a fancy ass bathroom as well.
It is. It might not look that fancy on... How does it look in this lighting?
Let me just bring the lights in so I can see.
Okay.
It's all like stone wall and it's really
massive
cool.
Mirror, but I feel like you have to stand too far from, my eyes are so bad, so I stand back here and I can't even see my face.
We can see you. There you are.
Oh. Yeah, I guess this is a good scrying mirror maybe. But yeah, this is another cell. Again, you can see the arched ceiling and the little window as well. So 3 cells joined up. I think most of the rooms here are just 2 cells.
Something like that, yeah.
Because we got a bigger one, but I love it here.
Yeah, the original stone walls are really cool. So this is just like your bathroom wall. Well, that wall was not original, but yeah, these ones are.
I'm sure the bathrooms looked very different for the prisoners back then. It was probably just a bucket, I could imagine. This place dates back to like the 1700s, but they were building onto it until 1850. And even up until then, I'm sure like sanitation wasn't great.
The Victorian cell I had just had a bucket on display, so. I
did read as well, there was this rule where the prisoners had to be bathed at least once every 3 months. So that's not all too often, right? Okay, we haven't had a single word. It's not a great start. Maybe you've never seen this used before though, but if there is someone here, come up to us. This strange looking thing in my hands. Maybe you can use your energy to manipulate it. You can maybe talk to us. You try and use it. Maybe if it's easier for you, or you're perhaps more used to that, maybe you can make a noise by banging on something, knocking on something like this. If you do have the power to move something, you could move something in this room and we'll likely see it or hear it.
I feel like I heard a little tap again behind me coming from my suitcase, and I wasn't moving or touching anything.
They like your suitcase, Jared.
Yeah, something about the suitcase. There's not much in it. Well, actually, there is a lot of in it. Look at that. I don't even have an order or system to it.
Oh my god. I'm going to mention one other thing that I noticed last night when we were getting back to our room, and there was a single coffee cup on the floor outside of our room, just sort of laying there. I have no idea, like obviously a human could have left it there. I just thought it was really freaking odd that there was just a solo coffee cup. I took a couple photos of it on my phone because I was like, that's weird. I'm not saying it's paranormal, but who knows?
Yeah, who just drops a coffee cup and leaves it there?
Right? And like in the hallway of a hotel, there's just one single coffee cup.
One could also ask though, who sees a coffee cup on the floor and takes a photo of it?
That would be me. That's easy to answer.
Demonic teacup, that's gone in the title.
Because we haven't got a single word for this, maybe we could try a different way of reaching it.
At this point in time, we decided to get comfortable and conduct a different type of experiment, but right as we did this, our REM pod began to activate.
Ooh, so that's rolling, this one's rolling?
Spooky. Let me just check. Rolling. Roll. Oh!
Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Already.
Thank you. Okay, there's somebody here.
Why is it? It's always next to me when we do these sort of things. Can we swap? Yeah, my audio is on. Can we swap?
So we've just swapped the REM pods.
We keep it real here on AmysCrypt. We just swapped them. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Bag near my suitcase again just moved. Would the mics have picked that up?
Sound check. They should have.
Yeah. Keep it real here on AmysCrypt. We just swapped them. Keep it real here on AmysCrypt. We just swapped them. Again, bag. Should we have a camera pointing over there? I've got one here. Hang on. Oh, fuck.
Does that have a night light on it? Night vision?
No. Sorry.
Oh my god, let me get... And I can just put that like that.
Yeah, good. Alright, take 3.
Okay guys, I wanted to do an experiment here just watching Sia, but I put the REM pods out because we had so much REM pod activity last night in the other area of the jail that I was like, one started going off right off the bat, so we've actually swapped the REM pods over. They're both silent now, but after swapping them, we heard a loud crack over here, so...
Again near my suitcase?
Again near Jared's stuff. It's like someone's going through your stuff, I don't know.
I feel violated. Like someone's going through like my laundry and stuff?
Maybe.
Well, how would you feel if someone's gone through your knickers?
No one has gone through my stuff. Maybe I feel a bit left out.
Anyway, we got a camera now. I'm holding it, but I'm pointing in the direction of my bag, so if something happens, we'll see.
Now, Sia.
Yeah, let's roll on that. It's sort of cool because I feel like it's like a visual version of the original GhostTube app. You get pictures instead of words.
There's no other tool like that.
No, there isn't.
Oh, we've got one.
Oh, it's
an apple.
An apple.
You know what? Can I just say, it could have, like, out of any food that it would produce, I actually picture prisoners like eating just an apple or something like basic like.
But yeah, I'd imagine that their portions were quite small, so maybe an apple would be like a meal,
Please leave us a comment if you feel any of these images may be relevant or even symbolic. For example, representing a bad apple and hence being locked in jail.
Damn, okay, so are you hungry? Are you looking for food in Jared's bag?
Did we get any hunger words last night? Or anything like that, or any food-related words? I don't think we did we?
No. This apple, it also looks like it's in a circle or something.
Oh, we got doctor. An apple a day. You know what they say.
I feel like they wanted a doctor though. They weren't trying to keep the doctor away. They were trying to get a doctor.
But okay, we got apple. So that's interesting because it's like it's food-related. Could maybe a prisoner be hungry, or you know what I mean? I'm sure that was commonplace.
So if there is somebody here and you can hear my voice again, this device is very similar. You might have already been playing with it. Maybe you can describe something that you want to show us. I heard a little tap next to me.
Yeah, I did too.
Very slight. I don't know what that was on either. Something that you want to show us? Something that you want to show us? Something that you want to show us?
If you are hungry, there might maybe be food in that bag over there. My bag. I think I might have some cookies or something in there. I hoard food while we travel. Like cookies and...
Okay, I'm seeing a coffin with flowers on it, and it kind of looks like got a Union Jack flag
British
on it.
flag.
There are links here to military, and it kind of looks like, yeah.
Well, the jail wing we were in last night is called the naval wing, right?
Yeah.
And actually, we got a person in a uniform that looks sort of military like last night on SEER as well. I don't know what the relevance of this is, but I mean, it could be related because they normally put a flag like during a military funeral. They'll put a flag over it, right?
I know there's definitely prisoners buried here who were also executed here.
Oh, I heard a noise in that bathroom then.
Executed here. Executed here. Executed here. It could be a drip. I don't know.
Could be. I haven't heard one yet though. Oh! Shit! Shit! Ugh.
Thank you. Okay.
I just said I heard a noise over there.
Can I just say though, we swapped the REM pods and it's going off in the same place.
I said, can we swap? Not REM pods. Can we swap? That is weird because we swapped them. So it's something over here next to me. And it actually coincided when I said I heard a noise that came from the bathroom, but generally it just came from that direction. So it could have been anything. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
Oh, that was a bit freaky. There you go. Got the juice going. Got the adrenaline running. I sort of like these, watching the GhostTube SEER like just like this actually and having a bit of a candid chat. Sort of like what we did at Goldfield, like where we were just sitting around chilling.
And we got so much doing that as well. Yeah,
that's why we got that ship picture. That was probably my favourite SEER picture.
Okay, here we go.
Ooh. I'm seeing trees on an island in a lake or a river.
There's a thing around here called Bodmin Moor. There are connections to this prison and the Moor of murder. I don't know what the Bodmin Moor looks like. I'm going to be quite honest. But
what is a moor? Is that like a watery thing, is it?
I think so. Maybe I can Google it.
Bodmin Moor, yeah. Is a moor sort of like a lock that lets like water and boats in and out and stuff? That doesn't look watery at all.
No, I thought that there would be
I thought a moor was
water.
like a lock or something, yeah. Okay, we'll put a photo up of what the moor is. It does not look like
I'll
that.
put some photos up. It looks like hills and rocks.
What is a moor? Does anyone actually know? A tract of open, uncultivated upland typically covered with heather. Oh, we got another one. Oh. I see like baby cribs, but I mean it's bars. I don't know.
I see, two things that look like cribs, but as it was forming, I actually thought it was going to be like a jail cell, hence the bars.
There's actually something shiny flickering on the floor there as well.
It could be the legs if this is a crib.
Right. I doubt kids kept here this young, but there were kids kept in this jail actually.
They might have been that young.
Maybe. Well, especially if their parents were arrested. But if you were a child and you stole, I don't know, an apple for your family, starving family or something, you could get arrested for that.
And put in a place like this, Can we have another image? We would like to see what you look like if you're able to show us that.
I don't think we've ever stayed in a hotel that was once a prison. I think maybe the closest was the Fremantle prison, had a hostel on it, right?
Yeah.
And we stayed at the hostel, but
we did a Patreon video in the hostel, but
it's not really in cells though, is it?
We did stay at in South Australia. Was it Gladstone?
Gladstone Jail. Oh yeah, we did stay there. Yeah.
That was very like bunk bed hostel.
Well, we brought a sleeping bag, so I wouldn't say that's a hotel.
Yeah, I have seen a couple of old prisons turn hotels that look quite fancy.
It's really cool.
I've always wanted to stay in one. This is really, this is so cool.
I'm a big fan of the modern look with like original stone walls and that. I like that.
My only thing is there's not a lot of light that comes in.
True, there isn't.
But because we've been up late every night investigating, it's kind of good for sleeping in the morning. Yeah. So I'll give it that. And
they do breakfast to 11, which how rare is that?
Yes.
Normally me and Amy sleep through the breakfast that's included with our accommodation, because if we're investigating till like 4 in the morning, we can't be bothered getting up before 9:30 for breakfast.
I ain't missing the breakfast. The breakfast here is really bomb.
Yeah.
So good.
This is turning into like a review for the hotel now.
Yeah, 5 stars. 5 out of 5.
Well, anyone watching that's in the UK and it's really easy for you to drive down, definitely go visit.
It's fun.
Anyone in the US that's thinking of going to the UK should definitely plan a trip down here.
Yeah, you can just eat here as well. Like, there's a restaurant too, so.
Maybe the spirits will react to the whistling. Oh, they are.
Okay.
They are. See, there you go.
Thank you so much.
I'm seeing like fire. This one's taking a while to form. Fire. It's definitely fire, but I don't know what's on fire. Maybe red. A big field of red.
Maybe a building here?
I do see a building on the.
There's a partial building
on the side there,
being formed. I'm getting riot
vibes. Yeah, I'm getting riot vibes. Yeah. Were there any riots here?
In this moment, we weren't sure if a riot made sense. I hadn't encountered this in my research, so I began to look up some history on my phone. Yet perhaps this image could symbolise the crime of arson, which bore harsh penalties back in the day. Even seeing Elizabeth Osborne executed at Bodmin Jail, aged just 20, for setting fire to her former employee's corn.
Oh, we got another names.
A whale?
Submarine vibes, actually. Because the whales have windows.
It looks like there's windows, yeah.
Yeah, the whales have windows. That's, I guess,
and maybe a couple
vibes.
of UFOs.
Well, naval cemetery. Hello. I mean, naval prison. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pass that one.
Okay, I have found one little riot here. I haven't said anything about fire, but this one in particular was related to the tread wheel. Someone got sentenced to, use the tread wheel, and there was a retaliation.
So Seer selects words, forms a string, and then our AI interprets it. If it got fed some words that were implying something about a riot, the AI may draw fire as part of its interpretation.
True.
It's not saying there was necessarily fire here. So I don't know, I think the fact that me and you both independently got riot vibes from that image, because the image was quite abstract, maybe that has some relevance to that. Funnily enough, I can see Amy looking at riot and all the pictures have fire in it.
I know there's arsonists here.
Arson was a capital felony at this time, as a serious fine would lead to major consequences for the owner of the property.
I wonder if there was a fire at some stage though, because of how gutted it was in here, you know what I mean?
Without much else happening, we made our way over to the next cell to continue investigating.
Alright, it's getting that point in the night, guys. GhostTube and chill. I'm chilling.
Are you comfy?
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm going to lay down with a pillow. That's how chilling I am.
I want to roll Vox. That's my
Vox,
GhostTube.
that's the
chill.
GhostTube we're doing.
Okay, so we've used a few different ways to talk to you, and if you are here, you're still here. If you ever were here, we'd love for you to come up and try and use this. This is, again, is a different way. Maybe you can use your energy to manipulate some audio and talk to us. Can you say hello, or maybe tell us your name? If you are a prisoner, I'm in charge and I give you permission to talk.
Sorry.
Thank you. Are you able to state your name for me?
I heard that.
Tap over there.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's someone in that next cell over, you're allowed in this cell to talk to us. Or you could make another noise. Tagging Jared's stomach.
That was not my stomach.
Was that this camera?
Either the camera or again, maybe the wooden cupboard next to it.
Jared's stomach. Jared's stomach. That was more like a flick though than the tap I think I heard.
Right.
It was like a flick.
Could it be my bag again? Something down there. It's behind that camera.
Okay, if you can make noises, maybe you can talk to us.
Another tap over there.
It's so weird because it's this camera, that camera, that camera. Can you move something bigger? Something louder?
Whoa, that was louder. Will you look at me?
Where are you? I will look at you.
That sound I just heard then sounded like the shower door.
No.
It sounded like it to me. That is coming from our bathroom. Sake, we did need a third camera. Let me just check.
Okay, what's Jared going to find in there? I just want to say, I know that was part of a song, but it might have said he died or dad or something.
Okay.
I think this camera just tapped again.
I'll just test this door. Is that the noise? I swear that's the noise.
I can compare the audio and I can compare the audio for you guys at home.
Well, that's what it sounded like to me, but I don't know. Maybe it came from outside in the lobby again. I don't know. I'm just going to leave this camera over here rolling in case we use it again. All right, I'm back. GhostTube and chill. Resumed.
Okay, Spirit. This guy here was arrested for public nudity. What were you?
It was one time.
What were you arrested for? What was your crime?
TV show tonight.
And dancing.
On this.
I heard dancing on this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard. Dancing on this.
So it was, okay, maybe a woman and then a male. So it's definitely two different voices. But I mean, theoretically, that might not necessarily mean it's two different spirits talking. They might be actually grabbing snippets of audio to relay what they once said, if that makes sense. Can you tell us more about the dancing or the dancing?
That was a bit weird. Weird breathing.
Are you okay? You ask some questions because you're a dude and might talk.
Yeah, they always answer me when I do it.
I know.
All right, let me think of a question. Can you tell me how long you were sentenced for? Or perhaps how many people were in these cells, or are in these cells rather?
All different.
Ooh, 4 different. I asked how many people were in the cells.
It said 4 or it said all different?
No, I said 4. I heard 4 different. I just asked how many people are in these cells, and it said 4 different.
You know, this was supposed to be like a one-person cell, and that was a big thing about this prison. It was sort of built to reform, I guess. You know, during the mid-1800s, it got severely overcrowded, so there would have been multiple people per cell.
Okay, well, what are some of their names? Again, behind there. Can you tell me some of the work they make you do here?
With nothing further to note, we decided to get some sleep, setting up another camera to monitor us overnight once again. Here is what we documented. And with that, our time at Bodmin Jail came to a close. We had an amazing 3-night stay and investigation, from noises heard and captured in our hotel room, with a bag even moving on its own, to the attraction where we documented voices, the lift moving, and lights malfunctioning. But of course, the seer images and growl within the original navel wing, and the chilling sounds I captured near the gallows will always stick with me. So if you did enjoy this investigation, hit like, leave us a comment, and make sure you're subscribed with all notifications turned on for this channel, as we have some big episodes in the coming weeks. Starting with one of the most haunted places in California, a house that never stopped evolving due to spiritual activity, and where superstition ruled to the point that a seance room was built at its core. You won't want to miss our next paranormal investigation at the Winchester Mystery House.